Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? I am back with a review of the day at an amusement park, and this time we will be discussing July 31st, 2020 at Dorney Park. And so anyways, this day was really good because there were no lines at all, which meant there were no crowds, which allowed us to get on a lot of rides, and it started out cloudy, so that drew people away from the park. And not only that, but we also went on a weekday, which also led to no crowds, which meant we were able to get on a lot of rides. And so anyways, let's just talk about our day in general. So when EB and I first got to Dorney Park, we headed straight for Ferris wheel because we missed out on it last time. And so anyways, we headed to Ferris wheel, and that was the shortest ride cycle we'd ever had on the Ferris wheel. Like, it was crazy because I don't know why it was a short ride cycle, but we barely got any shots, and we made antics and like usual, but like we got very few shots from the Ferris wheel as a result of it being a short ride cycle. And so anyways, after that short ride cycle on the Ferris wheel, we headed to Chickies and Pete's, which was a really good meal there, and because we hadn't eaten there since opening day. And so anyways, after Chickies and Pete's, we headed for a ride on Sea Dragon, which was a really memorable ride on Sea Dragon because we actually ran into my friend Jack, who was operating it. When we were about to get on, he was like, "Oh, hi," to me. And then after we got on and got situated, Jack was like, "I have a challenge for you. Who manufactured this?" And I stuttered for a bit because I'd forgotten the manufacturer for Sea Dragon. And then Jack and Evie, I'm pretty sure, had to tell me it was Chance Rides. And so anyways, after that, the ride started, and we were just chanting the names of ride manufacturers throughout the whole ride. And when we were chanting, "Gravity Group, Gravity Group, Gravity Group," my friend Jack was like, "Not gravity, but hopefully." And that was a really good analogy he made there. And it's a sign that shows that he knows about this new Gravity Group coaster that's supposed to be coming to Dorney Park in 2021. And so anyways, after that really good ride on Sea Dragon, we headed for a ride on Demon Drop, and that was a really good ride on that. And so anyways, after Demon Drop, we headed to Thunderhawk, which we had to wait in no line for, and we were able to get in another front row ride on it. Like, we've been having streaks of getting front row rides on Thunderhawk every time we go to Dorney this year now, I feel like. And I do not mind it at all because Thunderhawk is a front seat ride, people. Like, you should try to go ride Thunderhawk in the front row if you ever come to my home park and have the chance. And so anyways, after we rode Thunderhawk, which yet again was in the front row, we decided to take a ride in on Steel Force, and there was this guy in line that wanted the black train so badly. He was like, "I want to get on the black train." And when we were about to go, when we were all strapped in and stuff, and the ride operators were doing their thing, the guy who wanted the black train on Steel Force was also doing it with them, and he wasn't even a ride operator, which was so funny. And so anyways, that was a really good ride in on Steel Force in general. And so anyways, after we rode Steel Force, we headed to Revolution, and that was a really good ride in on that. And so anyways, after Revolution, we noticed that there was a gearbox on the lower midway, right near where the new coaster is supposed to be going, which showed signs for a new coaster happening in 2021. Like, oh my gosh, I got so excited when I saw that, and I started taking pictures of it along with EB. And so after that discovery, we noticed that the Cedar Creek Flyers ride was all roped up for some reason. I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant to say Cedar Creek Flyers, but because we were going to ride it when it was closed and roped up like that. Like, I seriously wonder why Cedar Creek Flyers was roped up. Like, oh my gosh. And so anyways, after that big letdown, we headed to the bathroom because EB needed to get a drink, and I needed to take a number 6. And right after I took my number 6 like I needed, I actually ended up taking a number 12, and Evie was making antics while I was making both my number 6 and number 12, and he was being loud in there, resulting in an employee going, "Can you keep it down in there?" And so anyways, that moment was really funny when I took both a number 6 and a number 12 at the same time. And so anyways, after I took my number 6 and number 12, we headed for the relaxation zone to get some water and get near Possessed to make some antics by it. And so anyways, after that relaxation zone pit stop, we headed for Monster because we hadn't ridden that in a while either, and it was a really good ride on Monster, like the best ride ever. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, the wind made it like operate so good, and Evie was like, "Why can't the Monster always operate it like this?" Its spins were really good, and I feel like it was hauling for some reason. And so anyways, after we rode the Monster, which was a really good ride on it, the best ride we've ever had on it, we headed for Zephyr, which while we were on Zephyr, Anthony had texted Evie, but he didn't notice that until we were on Zephyr. But anyways, Anthony had texted Evie earlier on that he saw both of us heading to Chickies and Pete's and just getting off of Sea Dragon while he was operating Music Express, and he wanted us to meet him there. But Evie did not know this until we were on Zephyr, which was like really shocking that he didn't check his phone when we were heading into Chickies and Pete's, because we would have been right in the area, and that was a big letdown. And so anyways, after that letdown, the ride started going, and we saw that Monster was actually going during our ride on Zephyr, which was really lucky. And so anyways, we got a shot of that. We got a shot of that, fortunately, I mean. I got some shots of Possessed. I got shots of both the Spike and the Twist, which was really lucky, and it was the best ride I've ever had on Zephyr, I feel like. And so anyways, after our ride on Zephyr, we headed for Dominator Green, which is always a good ride on that. And so anyways, after Dominator Green, we headed to Music Express to check if Anthony was still there, because obviously he wanted us to meet up with him there, but unfortunately he was not. But while we were on Music Express, we saw Anthony working at the Tilt-A-Whirl, and he was bobbing his head to the music playing in the park, which was really funny. And so anyways, after we rode Music Express, we decided to head to Tilt-A-Whirl because Anthony was there, and we got to say hi to him after we rode the ride. And I'm pretty sure he strapped us in too. Yeah, he did. And so anyways, after that really good ride on the Tilt-A-Whirl, Anthony and Evie had like a really good conversation. They were talking about how good the day was. And so anyways, shout out goes to Anthony for working the Tilt-A-Whirl and giving us a good ride cycle. And so anyways, after that ride on the Tilt-A-Whirl, we headed for Enterprise. It's always a good ride on that. And so anyways, after we rode Enterprise, we rode Hydra, which was really good. Although I think the employee might have stapled us in, but it was still a good ride on it, and we had to ride in row 5 for some reason. And so anyways, after that row 5 ride on Hydra, we decided to head to the Wild Mouse because we hadn't gotten a ride on it in so long. And the main reason we decided to ride it because it actually did not have a long line at all. That's why we don't even get on the Wild Mouse often, is because of the lines. And it was awesome that it didn't have a long line this time, which meant we were actually able to get on it. And it was our first ride on Wild Mouse for the season. Like, it was amazing getting back on Wild Mouse. I remember going on it so many times as a little kid, like when I was scared of like Hydra and Talon. But then, as I grew older and started to like Steel Force, Hydra, and Talon, I started to neglect the Wild Mouse more. And so anyways, it felt good to get back on Wild Mouse. And so anyways, after our ride on Wild Mouse, we headed for Wave Swinger, and that was a good ride on that. And so anyways, after we rode Wave Swinger, we headed to Talon, which was a really good backseat ride on it. We were actually able to get the back row on it, which was really good. And we actually didn't end up riding it in the evening, we did re-ride it in the evening. I'll get to that later in this video. But anyways, me and Evie were happy that it didn't end up being our last ride of the day. And so, anyways, after we rode Talon, we headed for Thunder Canyon, and we ended up getting 2 rides in on Thunder Canyon at once. Like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And we had the opportunity to, because the line wasn't even that long, and which was really lit. And so, anyways, while we were in line for our first ride, I caught videos of EB dancing in his bare feet. And when we were in line for the second ride, EB caught me dancing in my bare feet to Holla Back Girl, and he started filming it. In fact, stay tuned for a video of both of us dancing our butts off at Dorney Park from that visit, coming soon. Stay tuned for a full video of that. But anyways, those were 2 really good rides on Thunder Canyon, and we ended up in the Blue Raft twice, which was crazy, guys. And so, anyways, after we rode Thunder Canyon, we headed for Kaleidoscope, and something happened while we were in line for Kaleidoscope, and they were doing the cleaning and all that. So we were waiting in line to ride Kaleidoscope, and we saw a wave swinger going, right? So we started filming it, and the employee was like there, "What are you recording?" And EB was trying to show her that we were recording the ride, and the employee was like, "You can't do that." And EB tried asking where she heard that from, and she was like, "I don't know." Like, what kind of reasoning is that? Like, employees need to know that you're allowed to film the rides, but not on rides. Like, I think she had that mixed up, man. But anyways, that was a really good ride on Kaleidoscope despite all that. And something was really off about the employee operating it at that time. Like, oh my gosh, something was like just not right, man. And so, anyways, after that ride on Kaleidoscope, we tried to head to the Ferris wheel to make up for this morning's short ride cycle, but the guy told us it was closed, and so we got so mad about it. And so, anyways, after that disappointment, we headed for Apollo, which was a really good ride-in on that. And some guy was filming us while he was in line, I mean. So I had to do something funny every time we passed by him. And I always love being filmed on rides. So if anyone wants to come film me on a ride or something, I'm completely fine with it. I'll do antics on it for all of you. And then if you want to meet up after that, we can do that too, since I always love meeting fans. And so, anyways, after that ride on Apollo, we headed for Dominator Red, which was a decent ride on it, and it really made up for the fact that last visit we had to wait 30 minutes just to get on it, and there wasn't even a line, and operations were like terrible with Dominator Red that day. Like, my gosh. And so, anyways, after that makeup ride on Dominator Red, we headed for the Whip because we also hadn't done that last visit. And I thought that was a really good ride on the Whip. And so, anyways, after the Whip, we headed for Scrambler, which was a really good ride-in on it. And we hadn't ridden Scrambler in a while, too. And I got my first shot of it for the season, as you probably saw in the park footage. And so, anyways, after we rode Scrambler, we tried to take a re-ride in on Thunderhawk, but we saw that there was a little line out of the station, and we didn't want to wait in it. So then we just headed to Steel Force for a re-ride in on that. And there was a little line out of the station, but we still waited. Like, oh my gosh, it was so worth it, you guys. Like, but it wasn't even that long a wait. And so, anyways, after that re-ride on Steel Force, we headed to Amore Pizza for a nice dinner. And I always love a dinner at Amore Pizza. And we're going again their next visit. That's the first thing we're gonna do. So if you ever see me and Evie at Amore Pizza when we arrive at our next visit, hopefully, be sure to come and say hi. And so, anyways, or if you ever see me elsewhere in the park, please come out and say hi. I always love meeting fans, like I just said when I was describing that ride on Apollo. And so, anyways, after that dinner at Amore Pizza, which was so good, and we actually got the cheese pizza this time, and I ordered the cheese pizza because, like, I just wanted it. Just wanted to take a break from pepperoni from Amore Pizza for a bit. But Evie ordered the pepperoni pizza at first, but then then the employee said it would take them forever to make it or something like that. I don't remember. But anyways, Evie asked for the cheese pizza instead then. And so, anyways, after our cheese pizzas from More Pizza, we had time to take a re-ride on Talon. We got the back row again, which was so amazing. And so, anyways, after that back row ride on Talon, again, we were walking out of the park to conclude our day when we noticed that wave swinger was stuck. That was crazy. That was the first time I had ever seen wave swinger stuck. And it was crazy. Like, it got stuck and then they started freaking lowering it. Like, my gosh, I'm not sure what was up with it. And so, anyways, that was after that crazy moment that basically ended July 31st, 2020 at Dorney Park. And so that concludes this review of July 31st, 2020 at Dorney Park. Reply to me your thoughts on this video. And make sure to stay tuned for more of those coming every time I go to Dorney Park from Coaster Plus Music 19. And I will see you in the next